Hello, I'm Matthew Hine, CPO of RDX Works. For those of you who have been using the Radix network up to this point, you've been using the Olympia version of the network. As you know, we're just about to transition to the Babylon version of the network, which has quite a bit of difference from the old version of the network. One of those differences is that there's a brand new wallet that you're going to be using. So if you've been using the Radix network during the Olympia period, you've been using what's called the Radix Olympia desktop wallet. That's a wallet that's available for macOS, Windows, and Linux. It's been doing the basic things you need to interact with the Radix network up to this point of just moving tokens around and doing some staking. On the Babylon network, we needed a brand new wallet because we needed to be able to connect to dApps, do Web3 logins, do all the great stuff that Babylon is capable of. And that means you're going to need to transition your accounts from the old wallet app to the new wallet app. Now, this doesn't mean moving your tokens or changing accounts or anything like this. All it means is that you need to move control of your accounts from one wallet application to the new wallet application. All your tokens are still going to be there. Your stakes will still be there just where you left them. Nice and easy. So what we've done is build in a nice process for both from the Olympia desktop wallet to the new mobile Babylon wallet to make it super easy to move that control from one to the other. And you can do that for both your software accounts as well as accounts that are using a hardware ledger device. So this video is to show you what that process looks like, so you know it's actually quite easy to do. So let's get started. The place to start is going to be wallet.radixdlt.com. This is the official place where you're going to be able to get all the information you need about the new Babylon wallet, this migration process, all that stuff. You'll see the URL isn't actually right now because when I'm recording this video, it's before the mainnet, so I'm on a test server right now. But you're officially going to find this at wallet.radixdlt.com. And the first thing you're going to want to do there is to get your new wallet set up on your mobile phone, on your iOS phone or your Android phone. And this webpage will help you do that. I'm not going to go through that in this video. We've got separate videos and instructions for this. I've already got this set up. But basically, it's going to be a two-step process of getting the wallet application on your phone and then setting up a Radix connector browser extension, which you can see here. This is a nice, simple little background application that links your phone to your desktop computer so that you can do transactions with dApps. And also, if you're using a hardware ledger device, again, for your accounts, you're going to need the connector extension to be able to connect to your ledger device so you can connect it via USB to your computer. You're not going to be connecting this device directly to your phone. So the connector extension is going to help you with that as well. So that's why I've set up the connector extension here, is so I can show you what that ledger interaction looks like. Okay, so if you've got all that stuff set up, you're going to be set up on your mobile phone in this sort of state. You're going to have your first Babylon account. The setup process is basically going to ask you to name your first account. It'll create that. And now, if you want to, you can do this import process. The other half that you're going to need to set up is the Olympia wallet side. So you can see that we've got a link here for need to migrate from the old Radix Olympia desktop wallet. You can click that and that'll take you to a knowledge base article where you can download one last update to the Olympia desktop wallet that you're going to need to do this migration process. However, there's also an easier way. I'll just make this a little bit smaller to get it out of the way. There's an easier process also on the desktop wallet itself where if there's a new version detected, you're going to just see a little upgrade button down here. So those of you who have been using the desktop wallet have seen that before, where there's a button that you can click here. Once you've upgraded, you're going to be on version 1.6. So whether you upgrade in the app or you go to that download link and get it directly installed, one way or the other, you need to make sure that you're on Olympia desktop wallet 1.6. The difference in 1.6 is that, for one thing, it removes all the transaction functionality because you can't do transactions with this wallet on the Babylon network anymore. It doesn't know how to talk to the Babylon network. But also, it needs to enable the export feature that we're going to be using here for the migration. So I'm running that one already, and you can see that I've already got some accounts in here. I've got my main account, my secondary account, I've got another account, and I've also set up a hardware wallet account. Some of you may have done this, some of you might not have done it. I'm going to do the demo with both kinds of accounts so you can see what that process looks like. And by the way, this also does work if you have multiple hardware ledger devices. It'll be the same basic process, so you'll get a feel for it. Okay. So once you have that, the place to start for the migration is going to be this new banner down here in the bottom that tells you that you can't use this now, that this application isn't going to be updated anymore, and it has a link here to click here to update or export your accounts. So let's click that. And it's going to show you a list of all those accounts that you saw on the sidebar. So I've got these 3 different software accounts, and I've got my one hardware ledger account that I've also created here. If you want to, you can select certain accounts and choose export selected. If you don't really want to export all of them for whatever reason. If you want to, you can even export multiple times. Like if you come back later and realize, oh, actually I did want to migrate that one and I forgot, you can do that later as well. But to keep it easy, I'm just going to go to export all. That's probably what you're going to want to do. Just pull everything over from your old wallet app to the new wallet app. So let me click export all. And it brings up this QR code. Now, this QR code does not contain any security critical information. You don't have to worry about it. There's no seed phrase included, and this is nothing like this. All this QR code is doing is it's describing for the new wallet app what accounts you had, what names they had, what was the public key of those accounts, basically so they can verify, control those accounts and make sure that it's moving everything over seamlessly. So it's just sort of a convenience package to be able to tell the new wallet what it needs to get. So in the new Babylon wallet, if you notice in the upper right-hand corner of the window here, there's a gear icon that'll take me to settings. And there's a little prompt here that says, Radix Olympia desktop wallet user, import legacy accounts. So I'm going to tap that button. And it brings up a QR code scanner here. So now I can just scan that QR code in the Olympia wallet, and it gets all that information. So you can see all those accounts that you saw a moment ago. Now my Babylon wallet knows about those. It knows I have the main account, secondary account, another, and my important ledger account. You'll also notice here that it's got information about the address. So even though your account moved over and all of your tokens moved over to the Babylon network automatically, there is a new addressing scheme. Basically, the format of addresses changed from one network to the other. And so this shows you both the old address that you had been using up to this point, if you just wanted to confirm that. And then it shows you the new address on the Babylon network, and that's the address you're going to be using for that account from now on. So this all looks good, and I'm going to go to import those 4 accounts. Now, when I do that, the next step is to verify that I can actually control those accounts. Basically, my new wallet is now going to need to be able to sign transactions that interact with these accounts. And what that means is it needs to move the seed phrase over for software accounts, or for hardware accounts, it needs to know that it can go to the hardware ledger device and get a signature from that device. So the Babylon wallet is automatically going to do that. It's going to go through a 2-step process of having me input the seed phrase for my software accounts and then verifying the connection to my hardware accounts. So let's start that, and it'll start again with the software accounts. So if I tap import for accounts, it's going to take me to a screen that unfortunately you can't see right now. This is a screen where I import the seed phrase for my software accounts. Now, actually, the app is smart enough that it prevents me from streaming that to something else because it would be insecure to show a seed phrase, normally speaking. But if you can, I don't know if you can see it here on the camera, probably not, but there's basically a screen here where you can input the seed phrase words. So over on the Olympia wallet, I'm going to need to get that seed phrase. So I'm going to click the button here to continue to seed phrase. Click access, and then type in my password, and it'll show me my seed phrase. Now, obviously, now that you've seen the seed phrase, you can now go and you can drain this account of all my funds because I've shown you a seed phrase, which is incredibly insecure. It makes me kind of uncomfortable to show, but there are no tokens in these accounts, so it's okay. So, hey, everybody go have fun with this account. But I'm going to now input those seed phrase words from the Olympia wallet into my Babylon wallet. Again, this is a very security critical thing. Make sure you're doing this in a private area where no one's watching. Never, ever input this seed phrase into a random web page or another application. This is a one-time thing you're going to need to do so that your new Babylon wallet has that seed phrase so it can sign for those transactions. So this is kind of the one time when you need to be able to type that seed phrase in somewhere. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. We've got a nice little auto-completion thing, so it's pretty quick to type the seed phrase words in, but it still takes a moment. Almost there. Cool. So I clicked verify in those accounts, and what it did there just briefly is it took that seed phrase and checked it against those software accounts that I got from the QR code. Basically said, hey, does this seed phrase actually match these accounts, and can I control those accounts with this seed phrase? That verification was successful. If it hadn't been, it would have said, hey, there's something wrong with your seed phrase. Please check it and type it in again. But that was successful. So I typed that seed phrase in. Now my new wallet has access to those accounts. But I still have that hardware account. So for those of you who are using a hardware ledger device, you're going to see this second part of the process where you need to verify with the ledger device. And it's going to do that by connecting to the ledger device over Radix Connect. Basically, it's going to be using that Radix wallet connector browser extension to connect to my desktop computer. I've plugged in via USB my device to that computer, and it's going to make the request to that device to go, hey, I'm trying to get a signature for these accounts. Can you actually produce that? So I start that process by hitting continue on my phone. And you can see in my browser, it's popped up this window this is connected to that browser extension. It's basically going, okay, we're gonna pop this window up so you can manage the process of connecting to the device. So I've never connected this device to my browser before, so there's some permissions I'm gonna have to do. It says make sure to connect this device that you want and connect your Radix wallet, and I'll hit continue. And it says the Radix Babylon app is not open. So it's tried to connect and goes, hey, I'm not actually able to see it. The reason is I haven't launched the application on the device yet. Now, one thing to be aware of is that if you've been using your hardware device on the Olympia network, you've been using a Radix app that's loaded onto that device. On the Babylon network, you're going to need a brand new Ledger app. So this is now should be available on Ledger Live. It's still in developer mode, just like the original one was. So you're going to have to go in, turn developer mode on, and then you should see a Radix Babylon app that you're going to need to load onto your device. If you want, you can actually even delete the old Radix app. Once Babylon goes live, it has no meaning. Just like the old wallet, it can't sign transactions. It can't do anything at all. So there's really no reason to keep around. The new Babylon app will take care of everything from this point. So I've already loaded that onto my device. And once I launch that app, so I'll do that right now. I'm launch the Radix Babylon app. Cool. And now if I retry over here, now it works. So it's going to ask me permission. The web browser says, hey, it needs an HID device permission. It sees that there's a Nano S device. So I say, click connect. Yes, I'm okay with connecting to that device. And immediately comes straight back. So what just happened is my Babylon mobile app connected to my Ledger device over Radix Connect, and it asks for a verification signature. It goes, hey, there's this account that I think I can control. Can you actually produce a signature for that? It attempted that worked, and it verified that it can actually do that. And so now it's asking me, it's going to now keep track of that Ledger device on my phone. I can actually, once again, have multiple devices. So I'm going to give this one a name. I'm going to call this my black, if I can spell. My black Nano. And we're done. So my Babylon wallet app on my phone has now verified all my software accounts using the seed phrase, and it now has that seed phrase, and it verified that it can connect to my hardware device, and it got that set up, and it migrated those accounts over. So now if I go to my home screen on the wallet, you can see that I've got all that stuff. I've got my first Babylon account that I created initially, but I've also got from Olympia, my main account, secondary account, another account, and the Ledger device. The Ledger account actually has some tokens in it, but you can't access that because it's using my Ledger device. I didn't use a seed phrase for that. You'll also see that those new accounts have a little label on them that says legacy. That just kind of gives you a hint. It's like, hey, this was an account that was actually pulled from an Olympia wallet. Once we get multi-factor, all that's going to go away, by the way. So you don't have to worry about like, well, once we got multi-factor, now you're going to have to like migrate your accounts. Every account you create, whether you create it in the wallet or it's a migrated account, once we've got multi-factor, you'll be able to transition those accounts to multi-factor. There won't be any such thing as a legacy account. It'll just be a multi-factor account. The other thing we can do here just to show you how this works is after I've done that import, if I go into settings on my wallet and I go to account security and seed phrases, I can see that my phone is now keeping track of 2 different seed phrases. The first one is the primary Babylon seed phrase, let's say, that's sitting behind the account that I originally created when I first launched the app. And then what I just imported was that second one. I just imported a legacy seed phrase, which controls those old accounts that I migrated. The Ledger, the Babylon app can actually keep track of multiple seed phrases and manage all that kind of stuff. You'll just have to make sure and back up each one of those seed phrases for now until we have multi-factor. Again, once we have multi-factor, you don't have to worry about backing up seed phrases anymore because you will have the nice recovery features that will enable. But for now, it's basically regular crypto wallet mode. You've got a seed phrase, the wallet keeps track of it, you write it down, and you're good. Okay, one last thing to go through on this process. Let me get this out of the way. Once you've done this migration and you're satisfied with everything, that, yep, I've got those accounts, they're all showing up on my wallet, everything is nice and verified. One thing to be mindful of is that your old Olympia desktop wallet still has that old seed phrase for those accounts. And it's still active. Even though the app itself can't do any transactions, someone else, if they got access to the seed phrase, they would still be able to import that into a Babylon wallet and control your account. So this seed phrase is still super security critical and you still need to protect it. So if you've migrated to your new phone, and if you've done the good thing of backing that seed phrase up on a piece of paper and putting that in a very secure place and never sharing it with anyone, you now should actually get rid of that seed phrase in your old Olympia wallet. You don't need the Olympia wallet anymore, so you can now basically just trash it, and you want to trash it securely. So to make sure that that seed phrase is actually gone and you can completely forget about your desktop app, we have a delete wallet feature that we've enabled here. And if you go to that, you've got a big red button here for delete all wallet data. If you click that, you'll be asked for confirmation. And if I type in delete wallet here, it will now wipe the seed phrase and reset your Olympia desktop wallet, and it will now have no meaning to you. From now on, everything you can do on your phone, and everything will be managed there. So that's it. That's the whole process. If you've just got software accounts, this is super quick. If you've got a hardware device, it takes a little bit longer to do the verification. But once you do that, you'll have your device set up. So if you're signing transactions on your device, it'll already be ready to go on your Babylon app. So with that, enjoy the Babylon network, and we'll see you in the community.